Hello, it's Tree, and I'm back for another video. So today I'm finishing up page 11, and then I started doing sketches for page 12 and 13. Fun fact, this is the end of chapter 2. But this is not the end of Wakefield. There are 2 more chapters after this, chapter 3, 4, and 5, so actually 3. I post these on Webtoons and Tapas every Friday right now, so look for those on Webtoons and Tapas. Today, I want to talk about my thoughts on Wakefield Volume 1, Chapter 2, because it's been a while since I've worked on it. So I started Chapter 2 in October 26th of 2020, and I began posting it April 23rd of 2021. And I finished the final page on April 10th of 2021. So I went from October to April, which is a 6-month long work, and then I stopped posting. The final update was on May 28th. So the update went from April to May, which is obviously just 2 months. So I feel like that time period is just because a lot happened to me during that time period. Like, I had to have Bella fixed, I had my wisdom teeth removed, and then just on top of all that, I had my school classes. But now work's going faster just because I've gotten a new tablet. I've talked about that in my May update, so if you haven't seen that, I guess you can listen to me ramble in that video too. But I don't really like the fact that it took me so long to get it done, because obviously there's other projects I need to be working on soon. So it's just, I guess, a little disappointing for me, I guess. But it's not exactly a bad thing, because it's good to take breaks, but you don't want to get in the habit of taking too long of a break. Let's put it that way. Now, the next list of cons I'm going to be talking about, most of it's just compared to the quality of Chapter 1. And then the pros is also labeled that way because I wrote down a list of my thoughts, just so that way I could remember it and then talk about it. But I guess we're going through the cons first, since I mentioned the length of time. So for me, I noticed that sometimes the text is a little small, and a lot of that was due to because I was trying to save time, and I basically made a text font that replicated the way that I was writing with my Wacom Bamboo Splash tablet. And if you know anything from my last video, it's not a screen tablet, which isn't a bad thing, but I was very cramped, and my writing and drawings were very cramped because of that. So the text looks small and cramped, and I don't like that. Another thing is that the trees, I wrote a note about how they look a little odd sometimes, and for me, I think that's just due to the fact that most of the comic I use line art, but the trees, they're lineless, and I don't really like the look of that change of quality. I guess you could put that way. Because there's elements that I do line art, like the bridge on page 11, but the tree is lineless, so that just looks weird. And another thing I mentioned is that some of the art looks awkward, and I wrote down Emery backpack. So I'm guessing some of the faces that I gave Emery looks a little weird, like this one on chapter 12, page 12. I don't really like the way that Emery looks. He looks weird. And there's like a weird hierarchy between him and the monster, and it just doesn't look that nice. And then the second panel, the way he's holding that camera, it looks weird. I don't like it. And for my final con, I wrote down that my least favorite pages are page 1 and page 5. So I guess the biggest reason that I don't like page 5 is I just think Frankie and Emery look weird. Like, to me, they don't really look like them. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And Emery's eyes, they're very small compared to the rest of his body. And then Frankie's head, I just don't like the way I drew his head in that panel. And then I think the reason I don't like page 1 is solely for the fact of the way that I started doing the shading. And yeah, that's probably the reason why I don't like those pages. Like, they're very dark and just doesn't look right. So on to my next thing, which is the pros. What do I like about my chapter 2? What do I like about my comic in chapter 2? I think the art is very linear. Chapter 1 has very huge leaps in quality just because it took me so long to do them. And I mentioned this in the things that I don't like and what I like about chapter 1. But there's no huge leaps in qualities for chapter 2. And then I really like a lot of the gradients that I used in chapter 2. Like how it goes from sunset to night. I really like how that looks. It just looks nice. I like that, and I hope to do more of that. And then I really like how the environments are very detailed, because in page 1, even though I don't like it, I really like the fact that, like, there's this worn treaded path, like leaves and stuff like that. And I just feel like I put a lot of effort into the background in a lot of areas. So that's probably why I like it. And I feel like I took a lot of risks by drawing a lot of things that I'm not used to, and I feel like it paid off well. Because I wasn't used to drawing backpacks, and even though I don't like them, that's something new. And then the picnic basket and stuff like that, that's stuff I've never drawn before. So I like how it came out, even though I've never drawn it before. So I don't have anything to base it upon from the past, I guess you could say. And then I said my favorite pages were page 10 and 11. And I think I just like those pages because of, it's got the detailed background. And even though Emery looks a little weird sometimes, I do like them. Like, it has all the detailed backgrounds on those pages. And I really like the way that I drew Frankie once he fell into the pond. I think that's my favorite part of that chapter, is just him with the frog. And then I really like the lily pads. I just think they look nice in the pond, and like the reflections of the pond. I really enjoyed drawing those. And then there's like the shadows that are on Emery's face when he has the headlamp. I like those in particular. I just think it looks nice and it makes sense. And then the splash effect on page 10, I really like that. So, from this page is chapter 2 to page 3, chapter 3, there's kind of going to be a leap in quality just because I got a new tablet. That's not a bad thing because it's all centralized in the same chapter. But I'll probably talk about my dislikes and likes of that chapter after a while, because I kind of want to sit and like ruminate a little bit on that, and that's why it took so long for me to talk about what I don't like and what I like about chapter 2. Because I feel like if I sat there and did it, now that it's done, I'll just be like, I like all the pages, they're very nice. That's not very helpful if, like, you're trying to look for things to improve upon in the future. Like, that's it's just not helpful to my growth as an artist to be like, I like everything. So if you catch me in the future telling myself that I don't like things about chapter 3, that's probably why. Because I feel like if I did a review on chapter 2 right after I finished it, I'd probably say that I like everything about it, even though now I'm like, no, I don't like that. I guess that's just how it goes as an artist. The more you improve, the more you see mistakes in your work. And that's just how it is. But thank you for sitting here and listening to myself ramble about the things I like and dislike about chapter 2. Again, I'll do one in chapter 3, but it's gonna be a while. And I will see you on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So subscribe if you want to listen to me ramble some more, because I do a lot of it.